Hi everybody, welcome to Katuta Tutorials. This is our third video and we're going to be going over how to make a behavior tree and how to make a blackboard. At the end of this video we should have a character that stands in one place, waits for us to looks for us. He doesn't look for us, but he just stands in one place, and as soon as we cross his path he will then follow us. That's the goal for this video right now. Alright, so in the last video we mainly focused on getting these two blueprints down, our AI BP and our AI guard controller BP. So assuming you have these two things, you're all caught up with this video, and assuming you have the rest of everything. So we're going to go back to our root AI folder and we're going to type in, let's just call this new folder, and we're going to call this AI_brain. This is really where all the AI computing is going to go. This is going to be a kind of complicated video, so I'm going to go a little slow. So now when we open that, we're going to make two new blueprints. I guess they're called blueprints. Don't really know what they're called. Assets. Alright, so we can right click inside our content browser. We're going to scroll down to the bottom. We're going to go to artificial intelligence. We're going to make a behavior tree. We're going to call this AI_BT. BT stands for behavior tree. I'll go over exactly how a behavior tree works in a second. We're also going to right click, go down to artificial intelligence, and make a blackboard. We're going to type in AI_BB. BB stands for blackboard. Alright, so now we have these two nodes. We're going to start off using the AI behavior tree. So we're going to double click on that one and it opens up to this. It may be a little confusing and a little complicated in a second, but it looks real simple at the moment. It's a different type of programming than you're used to if you're familiar with blueprinting. First thing we're going to do is make sure our Blackboard is set up. So we're going to click on our root and make sure Blackboard asset AI Blackboard. That's what we wanted, AI_BB. That's exactly what we want. Now we can switch to our Blackboard like that. Simple as that. If we were to open up our Blackboard, we can't click on our behavior tree. I usually always go through the behavior tree to switch to the Blackboard. That way I can always switch back whenever I want. Alright. Now behavior tree kind of works with priorities. Everything on the left is the highest priority, everything on the right is the lowest priority. So he's going to want to do the things on the right more. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take out a selector. This will select the actions that that the root does. The root is what it ends up doing at the very end. Now from here, the selector is going to do most of the selecting of the functions. That's the one that chooses priority to the left, to the right. Next is we're going to type out sequence. Sequence just does left to right, and it repeats that over and over again. Selector can select which ones based on priorities and such. Now sequence. I'm going to make a sequence. I'm going to put it way over here. This is going to be our lowest node, and we're going to call this idle. I'm just going to go up to the node name and rename it idle. And that's all we're going to do. Well, it's not all we're going to do, but we're going to drag that down. And now we're just going to type in wait. Now, what this is going to do is it's just going to wait, which means it's just going to the AI is just going to pause and do nothing. 5 seconds is a little bit of a long time, so I'm going to move that down to 1 second. So that's this entire part of the graph. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to pull out another sequence, and we're going to pull another sequence. We're going to call it move to target. Alright, then we're going to do move to, it has to be move to. Make sure you don't do move directly to. It doesn't try to pathfinder around if you do move directly to. It's just a move to is a better function. Now we're going to go over these things right here. Now node, acceptable radius is the general how close should he go. The largest number, the farther away the AI will assume this task to be a success. The closer, the less likely. Less distance it'll consider a success. Allow strafe. Only have allow strafe on if you have strafing set up in your anim blueprint. I haven't gone over strafing. It's a little more complicated, but don't click it. Your AI is going to look real stupid if he can strafe, if you click AI, allow strafe on when he can't strafe. He's just going to be sliding across the floor and looking real dumb. Now, Blackboard key. I'm going to go to Blackboard in a second, but this is the target in which the move to is, which we want him to move to. So, a Blackboard is just a place to keep variables. The reason why it's in a different function entirely than the behavior tree is because sometimes you want to share Blackboards between behavior trees, and that's entirely fine. So we're going to click on our Blackboard, and we're going to add a new key. We're going to make this an object. And it's very important because we don't have as many types of keys and many different types of variables as we do in a regular variable chain. So object key. I'm going to rename this. I'm going to call it target with a capital T. Now, there's no actor type in this. There's no actor. As you can see, there's only object. That's the only type of the closest thing you can get to an actor type. But there is, you can if you lower down this menu and you go into base class, it's going to have object, but if you click on it again, you can click on actor, and it behaves similarly to an actor. Alright, so now we're going to go back to the behavior tree, and now, see, it is automatically filled in target because it's the only Blackboard key that I have that it will make sense to move to. Alright. Now, one last thing. This is where it gets real complicated, but kind of not complicated because it's just real simple in a weird way. Alright. So we're going to right click on the move to target. This sequence right here. I'm going to right click on it. Now, down here, add decorator. These will get to be extremely important. These are what controls your entire selection process. I'm going to click on Blackboard. Alright. So, I'm going to have you rename this, and then we're going to explain exactly what we're doing at all. Alright, so we're going to call this is target set. Under node name, when you click on the Blackboard base condition, and I'm going to end with a question mark, is target set. So what this does is the selector comes down and notices that you have a decorator on it. And the decorator is target select. Now obviously it doesn't understand English, but it understands its own language. So when we click on is target select, it has automatically filled this in because it's the only viable key that we have. So the key query is set, and then is what set is target set. If target is set, it'll read as true and allow the selector to select to move on down this chain. If this is false, it'll say don't pick me, my parameters aren't met, and it'll move directly to idle. That's what it'll do. It'll just move straight down and it won't even move to target at all because it's not set. Alright, so I'm trying to go slow and as direct as possible. Now we're going to go back to something we did last video now. We're going to close out this and we're going to go into our base world. Now under AI character blueprint, under the AI folder, so I'm going to go into the AI folder, go to AI character blueprint, and now remember how last video I was talking about how the AI guard controller, when we opened that up, we had all these things. And it was very confusing and you were probably lost and it was mostly my fault. I'm sorry. Alright, now under event begin play, we have now created a behavior tree, and hopefully I've explained it to you thoroughly enough so you understand. We're going to click that down, and now that we have a behavior tree, we're just going to add it. It's AI behavior tree, the one we just made a little bit ago. Now, everything should be functioning correctly. I'm just going to explain to you what this means. Alright, so on pawn C, this action is fired. And it's asking for the target, and it asks for get my blackboard, which it first, okay. Blackboards are always connected to behavior trees. What happens here is this blueprint asks itself, do I have a behavior tree? The answer is yes, because we already ran the behavior tree. It says cool, then it goes to the behavior tree and it says, alright behavior tree, who is my blackboard? And it's like, alright, so it directs to the right blackboard. So then we get the correct blackboard for this behavior, for this AI controller. Next thing that happens is the key name. The key name is, remember when we went to our blackboard, here let me pull that up in a second. In our in our blackboard, we have a key name target. It's named target. Naming are very important. So I make a literal name and I name it target. So it says, hey, find target. Find the key named target. Find that key and then set that key to be the object value, which is pawn in this case. So what happens is pawn is seen, it gets its blackboard, it asks what should I set, and then it sets the object value to whatever it sees. So hopefully what happens now is in my world, as soon as I go up, he's going to see me and he's going to run after me. Should delete that. Alright, now I go over here and he's not. Why is he not? Well, I did that on purpose because I'm a big meanie. First, we're going to check to make sure the behavior tree is working. So the behavior tree is working. The target is even set, but it's just going straight to wait every single time. It comes here for a seg. It doesn't move, but it doesn't do anything. Now you may at this point be asking, like, why is it doing it? It's actually real dumb. Now, what happens is this AI needs to know how to move, basically. It doesn't know how to move. It doesn't know what's there or anything. So what we need to do is we need to add something into our level called a nav mesh. Nav mesh is basically working out every possible way it can move and then calculating that. Now we're going to go nav mesh modifier volume. We're going to throw that down. I think that's right. Nope, never mind. Ignore that last part. Laugh at me. Nav mesh bounds volume. Yeah, okay. Pressing P will toggle on and off that blue. That green, I mean. So we're going to move that over, and I am just going to scale this volume, and as you can see, the green grows. Basically, what you want to just keep in mind is everywhere where there's green, the AI can move. That's what you want to keep in mind. So I want to make mine the entire level because I want him to be able to catch me anywhere. Alright, so he can catch me there, he can catch me here, he can catch me everywhere. Now, for reals this time, hopefully, when I play the game and I run in front of him, he'll see me and he'll run after me. Let's try. Alright, as you can see, the green has gone away as soon as I play the game. It's not a constant, it's just a debugging purposes. So he can't see me at the moment. I'm going to run in front of him. He sees me, and now he's going to chase me all the time. So he's just being relentless. Now, I don't have anything lost set up, but this is exactly what we're looking for. We have basic AI set up where he just follows me. Now, something interesting that you can play around with until you get what you want, if you go back into your behavior tree and you click down here, sometimes these forget to stop. You go to your move to, let's say I want to make that 250. Acceptable, I made under move to, under the acceptable radius, here let me make that big for you guys, acceptable radius 250. So the acceptable radius in which he can move to me is 250 units. So when I hit play and I run in front of him, he is much farther away now. He doesn't have to get right up on me. Now, depending on your game and depending on how your AI acts, that could be what you want or what you don't want. Whichever. That is it for this video. We will be going on next video how to get a guard target, so a point which he moves to first and just stays there. Then we're going to move on to patrolling between multiple points, and then we're going to get to a point where the AI will just wander, which is what we want, which I kind of like a lot. Just the wandering kind of aspect. Alright, I'm going to now go over everything we did. One of the things we did is we went into the guard controller. We went over what everything did here. We added this AI BT to the behavior tree. We made a folder called AI Brain, and we made a Blackboard, and we made a behavior tree. We added a key to the Blackboard, and we set up a behavior tree as such. And that's this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in this video. Thanks.